Here are the 3 things videographers can learn from the book Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. Let's get into it. What's up everybody, my name is Isaiah Barlow and I'm a videographer based in the North Carolina area, and here we discuss cameras, cars, and kicks. And today is more on the camera creative side. We're discussing the New York Times bestseller Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. For me, this book is a must-have for all creatives. The book is true to discussing creativity as a whole, but there are things all creatives such as videographers, photographers, graphic designers can learn and earn from this book. And today I'm going to base my review off of my 3 favorite chapters from this book. Chapters 5, 6, and 10. Chapter 5 being the importance of side projects and hobbies. Chapter 6 being the secret, do good work and share it. And lastly, chapter 10, creativity is just subtraction. So let's jump right in and talk about chapter 6. Chapter 6 is about how you as a creative can be recognized in the industry, and Kleon's answer to this is do good work and share it. And it sounds easy, but we all know it really isn't that easy, especially in the information age where things are fast and they leave fast. Literally just the other week I posted a TikTok and a reel and it only garnered like 12 views. And I was like, gracious, this sucks. But Kleon explains the life of a project in chapter 6. So check out this graph. He creates the lifespan of a project and a lot of times how us creatives view it. It goes like this. This is the best idea ever. Okay, this is harder than I thought. This is going to take some work. This sucks and is boring. The dark night of the soul. It will be good to finish this because I'll learn something for next time. And it's done and it sucks, but not as bad as I thought. I think that's the best way of detailing a project's life. Even before I shot this video, I began planning it and realizing the scope of work it was going to take, and it really made me upset. I made bullet points and even took quotes from the book, and it was just a lot, and I didn't even want to do it. I almost wanted to put it off to like another time. But that's why this diagram is so important. It shows the reality of a project's life and allows us to see how crazy we aren't, right? That a lot of times we all want to put it off to the next day. So the social media algorithms might not like your project and they might not recognize them, but if you keep doing good work and keep sharing it, somebody will recognize it. And it takes consistency to do this, to continue to put out your work, but I'm sure it pays off. Next is the importance of side hustles and hobbies. We all get caught in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. That's for both full-time creatives and part-time creatives. Either or, we have to recognize the importance of side hobbies and projects that we may have that bring us alive. In the book, Kleon explains that we must practice productive procrastination. Work that's productive, but it really isn't for anybody but us. This productive procrastination frees us from the hamster wheel of creativity that we all get into. It allows us to think creatively and enjoy the things we have as hobbies or side projects to kind of get us out of our creative funks or even our creative blocks. My favorite quote from this chapter reads, "A hobby is something creative that's just for you. You don't try to make money or get famous off it. You just do it because it makes you happy. It's something that gives to you but doesn't take. My art is for the world to see, but music is only for me and my friends." Lastly is chapter 10, and it's titled Creativity is Subtraction. This chapter really brings the book full circle by explaining that having no limitations is not always a good thing in creativity. It can be overwhelming knowing all that you could do. I, for one, get super overwhelmed when I think about the potential to do things rather than actually doing them. This is because it's a fear of the unknown or just an unfamiliarity with the project or creative process. Kleon explains that if you have a challenge in the mix of your creativity, it allows for innovation to be birthed. This sounds super contradictory, but I can give you an actual and real life example of this. Recently, one of my friends who's a cinematographer switched ecosystems from Sony to Canon, particularly the Canon C70 cinema camera. And the camera is amazing. The Canon does awesome image quality. The colors are great. But 2 months later, he ends up selling the Canon C70 for 2 Panasonic S5s. So when I asked him why he sold his Canon C70 and returned back to Panasonic, his answer was it was not enough of a challenge. He didn't feel creatively challenged while using the C70. It's a wonderful camera, it's awesome image quality, great films he produced with it, but he wanted more of a challenge within his work. He as a videographer and cinematographer would rather have some kind of challenge or push in his work to better his work rather than the C70 that makes his job a lot more easy. Another example, I recently purchased a Leica Q2 if you haven't seen it all over my Instagram and my YouTube. Now this camera particularly does not have too much in terms of bells and whistles. As a camera itself, it's very simple, it's not complicated at all. It has wonderful features, don't get me wrong, but I find myself having a very little information between me, the photographer, and my subject, whether it's a person, building, or place. This camera does a really good job of not hand-holding you when it comes to a shot. It makes you slow down and really try your best to get the shot correct rather than just pointing and shooting. It allows me to really hone in on my skills as a photographer and recognize I have to take my time rather than flicking a dozen shots and knowing I'm going to have one perfect one if I use a different type of camera. So in essence, being a creative is equal parts having the world at your fingertips, but also being restricted to some limits to allow you to actually focus on what you want to do. This last chapter really put that in perspective for me because having a challenge allows you really to be creative inside of projects. So those are my 3 favorite chapters from this book. However, I can guarantee you that as a creative, you'll absolutely love it. It's a quick read. You can probably finish it in a day. It took me longer, but it's worth your time. And I'll leave a link to the book down in the description box below. I don't make any money from it. I'm not sponsored by it, but it's an awesome book. And if you've already read this book, leave it in the comment section below. My name is Isaiah Barlow, y'all, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.